What's up, everybody? Welcome to a special All 22 deep dive where we try to show you some of the finer points of the Texas 55-0 win over Sam Houston State. But if you're interested in the finer points and all of the bigger conversation, you got to go join Inside Texas. For $1 American, you also get a full year of access to The Athletic. That's an amazing deal. We can't wait to have this conversation with you here, but also at Inside Texas. And make sure you like and subscribe here on this very channel. Let's get to the film. All right, let's start off, ladies and gentlemen. First quarter, 3rd and 1, 6:31 on the clock. Ball's on the Sam Houston State 13-yard line. We're in the red zone, Ian. And we're going to run the ball straight down the gut.
What?
Derek Gibson, and we're going to get a touchdown. What do you think about that?
I don't think that's allowed. That sounds like one of that Oklahoma trick.
It is. This is a trick play we rehearsed all week, and now we're lying about it. So here's what's going to happen that we like. We're going with a little bit more of a gap scheme here, Ian. We're going to do a duo block at the point of attack. So this defensive tackle play side, our excellent producer is circling that guy. He's going to get double teamed by the guard and the tackle. And you know how they're going to block the linebacker right behind him? By driving the defensive tackle into him. That's one solution for moving linebackers and moving pieces. Get two hats on a guy and drive him off the ball. At the same time, we're going to put a tight end in motion. We have double tight over there on the play side. You're going to see Cameron Townsend come back Nick Townsend come back and actually do a kick out on this edge. So watch the play side block and then watch the Townsend kick out. It's pretty violent. And then you're going to see Gibson go exactly where he's supposed to go. Boom. We're driving that defensive tackle all the way into the linebacker. We get one guy who gets a hand on Gibson, barely, and this is exactly what a running back should do. When you've got a big hole and you've got one guy to beat who doesn't have a good angle on you, you should elude that tackler and you should go score. You shouldn't get stopped for 7 yards. So this is a great example of a well-executed gap scheme downhill run. Look at this Townsend hit. He's going to finish that block. He's going to get a great initial pop. And if you heard this on the TV broadcast, you heard the pads pop when this guy hit. And then Nick is going to say, get out of here. So he's going to pop him and then sling him to the ground. So probably could do without the slinging to the ground part, but he made violent initial contact. And that's a great thing about Townsend. He's been shown to be very willing. Great play, a great illustration here of Texas's ability to get downhill, get their pads pointed downhill, and run downhill with a no-nonsense runner like Jared Gibson. 13 yards and a touchdown for the good guys. Next play, first quarter, 1st and 10, 4:42 is on the clock, ball's on the Texas 40, and we're going to show you a very routine and mundane play, and that's the whole point of it. So Arch is going to pull it here. This is an RPO. He's going to throw it out to Wingo in space. 9-yard gain. Good route, good throw, good catch, good timing. Ian, this is interesting in that we're going to see another example of Nick Townsend doing a good job in blocking. He's going to be the motion tight end here. He's almost like an H-back. You're going to see him go across the formation and then come back. He's getting a nice cut block to create a window for Arch. What you can't see right now, if you can pause it for one moment, what you can't see is that Ryan Wingo is lined up in single coverage. That cornerback is in off coverage. So what that means is there's some nice space that is going to allow this stop route, which if the timing, the throw, and the receiver are all synced up, this is easy money. This is just grabbing grass. So go ahead and run it, and you'll see Townsend get a nice kick block. We're going to show zone, inside zone. I don't know if this is a true read or if Arch already knows where he's going because he sees Wingo with space. But Arch is going to set his feet nicely. Nice throw. He even throws it to Wingo's outside shoulder, which is where the ball should go. Wingo stops exactly where he should at the correct distance. And this is an easy 9 yards. It's now 2nd and 1. And you might say, well, why show me this play? Nothing exciting happened. That's why. Because this is what had been missing from our offense against Ohio State and against UTEP. Any thoughts?
This is the kind of play that Ewers used to hit a ton. You would see it like in the opening scripts of every game last year almost. where teams would just try to get away with just playing off, and they would just hit those quick, easy outside throws for easy chain movers. And then it was the thing that we were not getting against UTEP, very notably. So, yeah, very encouraging to see that get back to being automatic.
There's some optionality to this play. We mentioned the fact that you could hand that ball off on inside zone. You know what you could also do? If that cornerback is playing way up, rather than doing that handoff, you still do the fake, you get the cut block, and now you've got Wingo one-on-one with a guy in press coverage. He might try to get an outside release just right up the sideline, and Arch just layers it in there. Potential there for a big play, and you have enough gap or distance there where a safety probably can't get over, or if they get over, they're going to get over late. And Wingo, not an easy tackle in the open field. So good play there from Texas. Good basic execution. This is what has been missing from this offense. And the more we can do this sort of mundane, ho-hum, take our easy 9 yards, that's where the real upside of this offense will start to take root.
All right, next up, we've got the first quarter Arch Manning touchdown. 2nd and 5, 53 seconds on the clock of the first quarter. On the 5-yard line, this is exactly where Texas has been just blowing it for the last few years. And what's this? A touchdown. How did this happen, Paul? How did they achieve this miraculous result? Well, I'll tell you, Paul.
Oh, it was a rhetorical question.
They involve the quarterback in the run game is the very simple answer. Arch Manning actually has 5 rushing touchdowns this year. He had 2 in this game, both on these sorts of zone read type plays. This technically is zone read. We're not sure if Arch is really reading it or not, but he's going to pull the ball. Number 44 is unblocked. He stays inside on the running back. Arch pulls it around, and then he gets an amazing convoy. In part, Indries is going to lead out on the perimeter. But when we actually run the play, what you're going to see is that Parker Livingston gets over and cracks number 24 and gets really good contact there. Indries sees that and just goes around and leads outside for Arch. The next defender. Just a little bit of a push is all it took. And then Arch gets his sweet, sweet revenge on the villainous number 6 of Sam Houston State.
Well, here's the real villain. You'll notice that towel on the ground. That's Arch's towel in the end zone. The Sam Houston State player was littering. And Arch said, "We don't litter in Texas. Don't mess with Texas."
Don't mess with Texas.
That was the message. So great job by the perimeter by both Livingston and Indries. Livingston particularly, he initially gets a crack. That defender pursues. And then and Livingston doesn't, in receiver fashion, say, "Well, my job is done. You're on your own." He keeps his feet moving, and he clears that guy out of there. And then Indries, very coordinated in space. He's good at acquiring smaller players in space. That's a real strength of his. He's got good feet, and those guys can't like juke him or matador him. He ends up pancaking this guy who tries to run away from him.
Great run. I'm very curious to see if Manning can beat Ellinger's record for 16 rushing yards or 16 rushing touchdowns in a season. That's on the docket right now. That'd be really interesting.
It is possible. He had 2 against Sam Houston State. Hey, do you live in a house? Would you like to live in a house? Well, if you live in a house and you want to lower your mortgage with a refi, I know someone you should call. If you want to buy a house and get the best possible broker on the planet in your corner fighting for you, I got a guy you need to talk to. It's Gabe Winslow. You can reach him at 832-557-1095. That is 832-557-1095. Why Gabe? Over 20 years in the industry. Former National Merit Scholar. Of course, a proud UT grad. He's got a law degree. This guy's way overqualified to be doing mortgages. He should be like working at the UN for us or something. But while he's doing this, let's take advantage of it. Make sure you give him a call. Tell him that we sent you. And right now, if your interest rate is mid-6s or higher, give him a call. He can get that rate down probably for free. And if you're just in the market looking for a house, because I know a lot of people are starting to look now that interest rates have gone down, This is the person you want in your corner. Give him a call, give him a text. You'll know within the first minute of talking to him that you're talking to a much higher level of performer than what you're accustomed to in this space. Give him a call. Trust us. You'll be glad you did. All right, second quarter. Steve Sarkisian is going to get a little bit into his bag. It's 1st and 10, 12:59 on the clock. Ball on the Sam Houston State 32-yard line. And we're going to see Jordan Washington score an easy walk-in touchdown. There's not a Sam Houston State defender within 20 yards of him. Classic. I thought you had him play. So let's see what happened on this play. If you guys will remember the first play we went over in this deep dive, we showed you a double tight end set with one guy slightly offset back, and we ran the ball straight down the pipe from the pistol, right? Does this formation look familiar? It should. What we're going to do here is actually play action, and then we're going to have the flow of this play. We're going to have Moore and Wingo, who are actually on the far left side of the screen. They're going to run double posts. They're going to carry these zone defenders. These zone defenders have greedy eyes, and they are not going to honor their zone responsibilities. While that's happening, the interior of the two tight ends, not the one you'd think might release into a pass route, the interior to a tight end is going to fake pass protection briefly, and he's going to angle over just as our crack producer is diagramming. So let's watch it run. Keep your eyes on Jordan Washington. He's the second tight end inside. I'm just a pass blocker. Don't pay any attention to me. And I'm going to release. Look at those greedy Sam Houston State defenders. Look at how they're watching Arch and the flow of the play. Arch steps up in the pocket, throws a little bit of a wobbly ball. That's by design. The reason he's doing that is I want you to catch this. Like, I'm going to throw you a backyard toss that I'd throw to a 7-year-old. Because I just need to complete the ball. I don't need to throw a perfect dot here, right? And Washington's going to stroll in for the easy touchdown. So great play design. Obviously an exploit of an inefficient and poorly run Sam Houston State zone. This is something that is translatable to higher level opponents, in my opinion. What do you think, Ian?
Absolutely. My only question for this going forward is the tight end rotation. A team like Oklahoma will note if you only throw this to Washington and not to Shannon or something like that. So you do need to be mindful of that, those sorts of personnel tells. Otherwise, this play has been like money in the bank for Texas for the last couple of years, and it's a really good one. It's really
one slight hickey to point out here. Trevor Gooseby actually does a really poor job in pass protection, surprisingly. Kind of a lazy rep here from number 74. He's going to give up the pressure and a flush. Fortunately, we're already rolling to the right. Arch senses that guy, and that's why he climbs the pocket. That's exactly what you want Arch to do on this play. You don't want him to fade away. You don't want him to keep moving towards the sideline. You want him to climb, and that's where Arch's mobility and his strength and his confidence really helps. He's like, even if this guy gets a little piece of me, I'll still be able to get the ball off. And that's a nice aspect to have. So great play, great execution. Love it.
Our last play. This one is in the second quarter, 10:05, 1st and 10. This is going to power a nice scoring drive by Texas. And it's going to be another play, Paul, that is a sort of getting back to the standard of living we were used to with Quinn Ewers. But first, we got to talk about how they got this throw off. The protection on this play, decent, would you say?
It came off okay, but we'll show
almost adequate.
We'll show where a young running back might have made a mistake in his eagerness to block, but otherwise good protection.
They're simulating the same kind of slide back zone as we've seen on some other plays in this study. And the end is supposed to be picked up by the tight end. You can see injuries come back, and all of a sudden, an eager young James Simon comes down to block the seemingly unblocked end. And you get two blockers for one defender. The linebacker says, "Hot dog, this is my time," and just shoots through an enormous lane. Not great. But Arch has already made the read, pinpoint throw, does not matter. He's got the post-over combination that Sark loves so much. He reads the deep safety to see if he covers the post or if he comes down for the over route. On the wider angle, you would see that the safety stays back. Arch reads it. His timing and his anticipation on this was very encouraging, Paul.
I mean, that's an exceptional throw. That's exactly where you want it. He's layering it between two defenders. It's a guy on the move. His footwork is perfect. His release was even a little high there. He didn't do the sidearm. And he's hitting Moore perfectly in stride, and Moore's going to be able to turn it and add another 15, 20 yards to the run. I mean, this is exactly what we need from our passing game. We've got to get explosivity in this offense, and our passing game is the most likely place we're going to achieve it.
Adding Moore back into the mix makes such a big difference. Just end of statement.
Hey, y'all. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, all 22 film version, uncensored, no holds barred. Ian, really appreciate your commentary. Excellent job. And we'll see all of you guys at Inside Texas. Make sure you like and subscribe this channel. And when you go to Inside Texas, $1 American gets you free access, and then you get a full year of The Athletic. We'll see you there, and we'll see you back here.